So if any of those people in the swamp that work for us attempt, go down the road of any Kirk idols, statues, any of it, it is war. Seriously. This occultism stuff needs to stop. That's what it is. That's why everywhere they have, that's why worldwide they have, but everywhere in our land of JFK. And they're getting worse, especially the busts. The busts are, the neck up or sometimes the shoulders up. It's considered a bust. These sculptures, they're getting worse, but I think that they have to make them worse as time goes on so that they're more true to life at this time. I'm going to tell you about it. So it needs to stop. No more of this occult shit in this country. That's not what we're doing anymore. Okay? Like, seriously, that's what it's about. It's spiritual mapping. So I think that's why Kirk, they wanted you to, chant the name, because that's part of it. I did a video on that. But then he's younger, right? Yeah, because it's, so any they got to go. They've got to be removed somehow, whatever you have to do, vote them out. But I would, if there's a way to get them out before then, because if they want to push this occultism, no. So the occult often uses the practice of placing many idols or symbolic figures within a territory to draw and manipulate spiritual or psychic energy. This is believed to help establish dominance over that area by attracting and harnessing supernatural forces connected to those idols. Such idols can act as focal points for energy or power and create what is thought of as a spiritual claim over a place. This practice ties into concepts like spiritual mapping and territorial spirits, where certain spiritual entities or demons are associated with specific geographic locations and can be controlled or contested through rituals and prayer. By saturating an area with these idols, occult practitioners aim to create strongholds of influence and control over that territory, often linked to demonic or other supernatural powers named and invoked through the idols. This is part of a broader strategy of spiritual warfare to gain power and control in a metaphysical sense over physical locations and people connected to them. The occult often uses statues or figurines of dead people or symbolic representations of death as part of their rituals and spiritual practices. These statues serve as focal points to connect with a spiritual or supernatural forces, including ancestral spirits, death entities, or demonic powers. In the occult and mystical traditions involving statues, there is often a practice of making statues appear older or venerable as a way to increase their perceived spiritual power and authority. The longer or more statues of a particular figure are created, the more the imagery or craftsmanship tends to give an appearance of age or antiquity. This serves to connect the statue to ancient spiritual forces or ancestral energies, enhancing its ritual significance and potency. Ancient ritual statues, such as those in Egyptian or other traditional practices, were preserved, sometimes altered or consecrated over time to maintain or even increase their sacred power. Physical wear, patina, or deliberate aging effects on statues can symbolize long-standing spiritual presence, historical weight, and continuity with ancestral or divine forces. Aging a statue ritually through treatments, consecrations, or symbolic opening of the eyes ceremonies reinforces the idea that the statue is an ensouled or animated vessel connecting the living to spiritual realities, often invoking respect, fear, or control over those who encounter it. Therefore, making statues look older or extending their form visually aligns with occult aims to deepen a statue's role as a spiritual conduit or territorial marker, emphasizing its established power and historical rooted authority over a space or group. So they better not even, because see, this is the, like, there's a lot of these that they're so bad looking. They're so horrible. So, and this is JFK too. But see, so a lot of the sculptures here, let me show a smaller one. See, it's like over time, they have to make them look older. So then you would need a new death, somebody young. That's the reason that whole occult ritual that they called a memorial. I just read, there's no. Any politicians pushing that stuff, they got to go. They got to be voted out, or if you can get them out earlier than that through whatever, some way, if it's in your state. Just be really, because these are everywhere. They're everywhere of JFK. I mean, everywhere. We are a land full of idols.